Welcome to Pharos Leadership. You know, the Android operating system is unique, unlike other consumer-grade operating systems. Android is open source. That means anyone can use, distribute, make modifications to it. Large corporations across the world have used it and adapted it to their needs. Google, Samsung, Motorola, Nokia, HTC, Amazon, and many more have developed phones, tablets, and other devices that use the Android operating system. How is it possible for a software to be built by so many people, even people in different companies who may even speak different languages, and it still works? One of the great strengths of Android is its modularity. Each team that works on Android produces modules or libraries that can be used by other Android developers. Some are kept proprietary, like the Amazon Kindle's Fire operating system, but many are shared with an open source community. Oddly enough, the structure of Android itself looks a lot like its development teams, a strong core linked loosely to many independent libraries. Why is that? Melvin Conway first observed this phenomenon in 1968. Conway's law states, any organization that designs a system will produce a design whose structure is the copy of the organization's communication structure. In software development, this law is seemingly self-evident. If two teams each make a software module, they will integrate it in the same fashion as the communication between those two teams. Let's use an example of a large corporation that has outgrown its off-the-shelf financial tools. They need to do a better job of forecasting the company's future performance. They decide to develop their own. The forecasting team needs to have information from accounts payable and accounts receivable. So the embedded IT specialists in each of those departments begin putting together software to present their data in the best way for their own department to the forecasting team. The accounts payable department puts together a smart package that presents their data and records categorized by their due dates. This ensures that all bills are paid on time. That makes sense to them. Meanwhile, the IT specialists in accounts receivable put their emphasis on the accounts themselves. The data is structured to emphasize the customer, the point of contact, and the sales team that's responsible for that account. As each module of the product is completed, it quickly becomes apparent that the company is about to experience what it calls IT hell, or integration hell. How do they make these two systems talk to each other? How can we get the data out of the system to help the forecasting team? The company has clearly fallen prey to Conway's law. Their program reflects the type of communication between the three separate departments, which basically was non-existent. Instead, the company should begin by developing a new team, one that integrates members from each of the departments. This new team allows for better communication between the departments, ensuring that the software package meets the expectations. Armed with the end goal in mind, provide information to the forecasting team, each separate module can now be created with the proper focus. Since Conway's Law was published over 50 years ago, many development styles have emerged that have helped to shape the organization to mimic the product it wishes to create. Agile development creates small teams that push out frequent deliverables, creating programs that gain functionality over time with many small patches. In 2011, comic artist Manu Cornet made a somewhat satirical diagram of the organizational structure of 6 large corporations. You can imagine how these organizational structures produce their products. Google, for example, produces a huge web of applications. Each one is integrated with the rest, but they often cover similar ground. What's the difference between Google Maps, Google Earth, and Google Expeditions? And why does Google Maps help you drive, but Google Drive stores files? Sorry, I couldn't help myself on that one. Each one of their applications is independent, created and integrated into their web of programs. Apple similarly follows their organization as well. All their devices are fully integrated from hardware to software. Everything follows their unique singular vision. And that brings us to Amazon, a huge monolithic hierarchy. You might imagine the bureaucracy at a company like this. Everything being run from the top down through layers and layers of management? Well, except that isn't the case. Early in the days of Amazon, when the company still sold mostly books, Jeff Bezos called on his IT staff to follow what he called the two pizza rule. No team should be larger than can be fed by two pizzas. This is what enabled Amazon.com to become a website with incredible complexity that could deliver each module quickly and effectively. While one team worked on the menu system, another delivers the tile-based front page advertisements. Another team worked on the search results, or the product pages. Amazon.com isn't a perfect website, nor are Google Apps or Apple's iPhones, but each of these products reflects how the company structures its development teams. As you manage teams or work on projects, look at how the teams communicate, both internally and externally. This communication will shape the product you make, and building new communication pathways just might make the difference between a failed project and a success. Thanks for watching this video by Ferris Technology, and I hope to see you back soon. Thanks. If you enjoyed the content that you saw today and would like to help me grow the channel, hover your mouse over my picture to the left and click on subscribe. There are also other videos showing on the screen that you might enjoy.